everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Claudie. I am a forensic psych nurse. I have been a forensic psych nurse for half a decade now.
But I've been a nurse for about 10 years now.
I haven't done a video like this before. I have promised an explanation of Dave Chappelle's joke, which was the pimp joke, they call it, the bottom bitch theory. It took me some time, longer than I expected, to break down what he was trying to say or what I think he was trying to say. It was much more than I expected. Get into the video and I will try to break it down.
First, I'm going to go over the chart explaining section by section.
The emotional spectrum, this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
So how this works is you have to complete most of each level to move up to the next level on the pyramid.
Level of control here, these are the body's senses. This is level of susceptibility to misleading information. And level of curiosity here in the blue, knowledge / truths in the pink here. Knowledge to me is knowing actual truth, undisputable truth. This is lack of truths down here in the gray. I did create a glossary of words because I haven't seen this theory or explanation done before. So I actually literally had to come up with it myself. I just was shocked at how much he was saying in that little joke. I'm going to go over some definitions here.
Here are some definitions. The first one is positive emotional transfer, and the second one is negative emotional transfer. This is more events that move groups several levels up and down the emotional spectrum.
MOAHs. So this is kind of a thing I kind of dedicated to Dave Chappelle because his joke is what kind of explained how you control someone, mind and body. So
Please excuse the is, it's really miles on a hoe, and here's the definition.
first I'm going to start off with Claudie's theory of emotional control, and that's what I'm going to call it. And there's a couple parts to it. This one starts out with control. This one is when they lose control due to an exposure caused by descending emotional shock. Anything that has been exposed on a massive scale.
The second part relates more to regaining control in the form of an agreement.
There's a lot to this. Okay. I just wanted to say it's inspired by Dave Chappelle, Candace Owens, and Dr. Sowell. This theory is basically saying that if you can get a person or a group of people to feel these things down here, these are the level of control associated with those feelings. And how do you get these feelings inside someone is via the body senses. The emotional movers,
For the bottom half are restrictions and the top are opportunities.
I call it control achieved. It's the most sustainable level of control. For the person trying to achieve control, this is the most sustainable level. So basically, I'm going to explain how a person can achieve control over another person via these feelings, via the body senses. If you're able to spread as a group your MOAHs and allocate them throughout society, it's much more difficult to move you into another section of the spectrum. The group in power are more likely to be on this end of the spectrum as opposed to this, because this end of the spectrum is much more easier to control. So now I'm going to go into the joke. The more I looked into him, I was like, wow, he knows a lot more than what he's letting on.
So I am going to start and stop this video
to speak in between to try to explain what I mean.
And the book is called Pimp. It's written by a guy named Iceberg Slim, who was a pimp in the 40s. Iceberg Slim, his real name was Robert Beck. He got the name Iceberg because he was in a bar in Chicago and there was a shootout in the bar and a bullet went through this nigga's hat and he still finished his drink.
So I'm going to pause right there. That's a significant part of what I'm trying to say here. A bullet went through the guy's hat and everybody who saw it, one, is going to spread that rumor and be like, oh my gosh, this guy is amazing. This guy is fearless. This guy, he's ice cold. So that's established position of control.
So in relation to the chart, they saw his courage as opposed to their fear, and they put him on a pedestal.
He's not scared of nothing.
Shit like that. They said, man, you ice cold. He said, I like that. And it's stuck. It has a glossary of pimp terms because the ideas are so foreign to the American ears. For instance, do you know what the phrase mileage on a hoe means? Mileage on a hoe is a very wild concept. It means that pimps understand there's a finite amount of bad shit a person can do before they'll lose their fucking mind. And a good pimp can look at a woman that he's never seen before and call it. She's good for 500 fucks. That's her mileage. Anything over that, that bitch is gonna spill. They do it to you. Why the fuck you think most of us work from 9 to 5? It's 9 to 6 might kill a bitch. Iceberg Slim was the one that broke down what a bottom bitch was. Does anyone know what a bottom bitch is? Anyone? What's a bottom bitch, sir?
It's your prostitute that's the best out of all of them. That brings in the most money.
That's right. That's exactly right. Are you black? That's right. A bottom bitch is a pimp's number one hoe. She's even a bitch that helps him keep the other bitches in line. I will repeat. She's even a bitch that helps him keep the other bitches in line. The pimp was McDonald's, and the bottom bitch is French fries. The rest of them bitches are like fish sandwiches, cherry pies, and shit like that. Iceberg Slim breaks down some of the coldest capitalist concepts I've ever heard in my life. He describes in detail how these men break women so that they will give them the money that they make with their own bodies. There's a story in here so cold it makes me shudder to think about it. Well, Iceberg Slim is trying to control a woman that he finds uncontrollable. So he asks the older pimp how he can rein her in. And the older pimp says, oh, that's easy, Iceberg. All you have to do is beat that bitch with a coat hanger and then run her a bath and give her some pills.
Okay. So when you beat someone, what feeling does that bring inside of them? Iceberg, by touch, by the body senses, he used touch to instill fear in this young woman, which is complete control. Here for like people who understand psychology, Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
This would be the lack of safety and security of the body.
He's finding the prostitute uncontrollable. Why? Because she's starting to recognize things about herself, her potential, besides what she's doing now, which generates the pimp's income. She doesn't know how important she is. Yes, this is complete control, but it's not the most sustainable level of control. What do? Run her a bath.
And give her some pills.
And give her some pills.
She'll be so grateful that you fixed her that she'll forget you were the motherfucker that beat her in the first place.
She'll forget.
That's some cold shit.
When you give her some pills after you beat her, you bring her up to a level of gratefulness. Because she's like, oh my gosh, it doesn't hurt anymore. Oh my gosh. So you bring her to a level of gratefulness and satisfaction. Boom. Control achieved.
End of this book, Iceberg Slim tells a story. It's kind of the crescendo of the book. And in the story, Iceberg Slim's bottom bitch is at the end of her mileage. If she was good for 500 fucks, she was at 498. She was bubbling. You could see it. She was going crazy. She started saying all kinds of shit. Oh, I always wanted to be in circus. Circus, this bitch is loose. I can juggle too, you know. Juggle. They had to let her go.
Uncontrollable level right there. Self-worth. So she's seeing things about herself that are more than just being a prostitute. She's seeing stuff in herself or her self-worth. And she's actually saying this to her pimp. Courage. Like, she's passionate about these things. She's actually voicing her opinion. She's excited about it. She is right here in this area. Signs of jeopardized control, approaching uncontrollable.
She didn't know how important she was.
Her lack of knowing how important she was.
And her inability to allocate her ideas on the higher end of the spectrum made it easier for Iceberg to pull her back on the lower end of the spectrum.
Bitch, you and I gotta part ways. She said, fine, motherfucker, I don't need you anyway because I know somebody in Ringling Brothers. She said, all right, bitch, whatever. I got one last trick for you. It's a big money trick. You do this for me, you get paid, I get paid, and we go our separate ways. He said, fine, motherfucker, what do you want me to do? He said, okay, there's a guy in the hotel across the street. He's waiting for you in room number 7. We should go over there and I want you to fuck him. But before you do, I need you to put some of this stuff in his drink.
So to regain control, Iceberg forms an agreement and pretends that he's going to let her go. This agreement appears to put the prostitute on the higher end of the spectrum.
He proposes an agreement where he actually knows the outcome.
He'll fall asleep. When he does, there's a briefcase on his bed. Bring the briefcase to me. That's the trick, bitch. Can you handle it?
So Iceberg knows her well enough that
He knows her MOAHs, which helps him form a deceitful agreement.
she's not going to ask how much to put in. And 2, any way it goes, he knows the outcome.
Fuck yeah, I can handle it. I can't wait to get rid of you. She ran outside, jumped on a unicycle, and pedaled across the street to the motel steps, and she disappears in room number 7. She's gone for a real long time. Real long time. So long, in fact, that Iceberg got a little worried. But then, suddenly, she came back. He said, what's going on, bitch? Where's the briefcase? She said, I didn't get it, Daddy. He said, what do you mean you didn't get the briefcase, bitch? What's wrong with you? She said, I did everything you said, but that man don't look right. Something wrong, Daddy. He said, what do you mean something's wrong, bitch? Did you put that stuff in his drink? She said, I did everything you said, Daddy. I put all of it in his drink. He said, wait a minute, bitch. Wait a minute. You put all of it in his drink? Now he had to see for himself. So the two of them go across the street to the motel, and they go into room number 7. And on the bed, laying lifelessly, is the white man that she was supposed to fuck. And Iceberg said, you right, bitch. She don't look good. What the fuck? So he called a friend of his that was a doctor that was close by. And the doctor came in, gave the guy a thorough examination, and told them both what was obvious. Slim, this motherfucker is dead. Oh, God, Daddy. Oh, no. Oh, no, we killed him. He said, calm down, bitch. We didn't do anything. You killed this motherfucker. And then he reached under the bed and he grabbed the briefcase. He popped it open. It was filled with money. More money than any of them had ever seen. And Iceberg took a little bit of the money and gave it to the doctor, and the doctor left discreetly. All right, bitch, let me think. I can fix this for you. I know somebody I can call. But if I call him, I'm gonna owe these motherfuckers a big favor. Oh, God, Daddy, please. I don't want to go to jail. Neither do I, bitch, so will you shut up? She picked up the phone. She heard him mumbling in the phone a little bit. He hung up the phone, and she was pacing the room, and he was just standing there cool, and they were waiting, and then suddenly, a van pulled up downstairs. 2 guys get out with a carpet. They walk upstairs. They roll that carpet out on the floor. They throw the body in the carpet. They roll that motherfucker up like a burrito. They pick that shit up, and they throw it in the back of the van. They come back up, and Iceberg opens the briefcase again and gives them a little money. He says, I'll get in touch with you guys later. They said, you're not going to get in touch with us at all. We'll find you. He said, whatever, nigga. And they bounced.
This is appearance of help. This is like,
God.
while she's in despair,
Listen, get the fuck out of here.
he's looking like he's fixing it for her. He's looking like the savior.
Iceberg grabbed that briefcase, waited a few minutes, looked out the window, and then he went down with her. They both got in the car, and they drove off. She was a blubbering mess. You did all this shit.
She was up here before.
We didn't do anything.
Keep that in mind.
You killed a motherfucker, and I cleaned him up. Now we got us a secret, okay? I know I'm not gonna tell, bitch. It's you. Oh, God.
Now, he cleaned it up. He says to her, we have a secret now. So she's grateful for him cleaning it up. This is the height of her emotions because he fixed it. She was up here before, about to go and become a part of the circus or whatever talent she recognized in herself. And through this event, or you can say descending emotional shock, the event of her thinking she killed somebody, she was all the way down here. And Iceberg fixed it, so she was able to move up here, which is the most sustainable level of control. She is grateful that he fixed her mess. Her mess.
All right, babe, go. I'm gonna need you to stay with me for a while till this shit cools down. She goes, okay. Okay.
Stay with me for a while until it cools
That's the
down.
game. How the whole shit works, ladies. You understand? This bitch was at the end of a mileage. She was at 498. She ended up tricking for Iceberg for another 6 months. She must have done another 200 tricks for him. Do you understand? Some cold shit. And the cold shit about it is that the dead guy on the bed wasn't even dead at all. Buck was just a friend of Iceberg's acting like he's asleep. The doctor wasn't a doctor. It was a motherfucking butcher that happened to have a white coat. And the dudes who came in the movie van clothes was dressed like movers because they were movers. Iceberg had gotten a new apartment. And the bag of money was Iceberg's money in the first place. The money he got from all those women. That's a cold game. That's the motherfucking capitalist manifesto. And that's why I went to South Africa. So now we got us a little secret.
So in a nutshell, what Dave Chappelle is describing is a man who has an established position of control. He has finances that could be allocated to his liking, and he put her in a situation where he already knew the outcome.
He used sight to instill fear because she thought she killed someone, and then he used hearing to verify her fear with lies.
Her susceptibility to misleading information, very high. She's not curious at all because she is worried about her safety and security, her freedom ultimately, because she thinks she kills this guy. She's down here from being up here, and he used lack of truths to get her down here because the beatings weren't working anymore. Now, she ended up working for him for another 6 months. Now, how does one control a group of people and then maintain that control? Now, to apply that to history and the Black community. Stay tuned.